You might actually recall that many years ago we covered a fab fact about the episode of This Is Your Life.
You're asking me to remember a fab fact from many years ago.
Well, let me remind you, because you might suddenly go, yes. It was This Is Your Life that featured Roy Dotrice.
Right.
Yeah? And how he was surprised by Eamon Andrews, the host of This Is Your Life, on the set of Moonbase Alpha's main mission.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm sure you'll recall that was when they were filming the Space 1999 episode Earthbound. No?
Yes. I didn't know. It does ring a bell.
Good, there you go. I thought it might do. Now, this connected fab fact shows us that Roy was far from being the only Anderson actor to be featured on the show. As among those given the This Is Your Life accolade included such Anderson series regulars as Rupert Davies, Windsor Davis, Nicholas Parsons, and Barbara Kelly, plus guest actors such as John Thor, Stephanie Beacham, Patrick Mower, Robin Bailey, and many more.
Oh, great.
However, did you know that on one edition of This Is Your Life, which focused around a regular from an Anderson show, not only was that show discussed, but one of their former co-stars actually turned up in costume.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, in the episode broadcast on Wednesday, December the 19th, 1973, the man in the spotlight was none other than UFO's George Sewell.
Oh, right.
George was ambushed during filming of the Euston Films crime drama Special Branch, in which he starred alongside UFO protectors and Space 1999 guest star Patrick Mower. Now, not only did Patrick then go along with George to Euston Road Studios for the recording, but among the many other friends, family and colleagues who came in to celebrate George's life and career were his UFO co-stars, Dolores Mantes, and, in full costume, including iconic purple wig, Gabrielle Drake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, Gabrielle's final scenes in UFO for the episode Kill Straker had been recorded in November 1969, but this edition of This Is Your Life was recorded in October 1973. So almost certainly would have been the final time that Gabrielle ever wore her old costume, and possibly the final time that the Moonbase operative uniform ever appeared on screen in new footage.
Wow.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Hang on. Is it canon? That's the question.
I'm not sure it's quite canon, but it's.
Let's write a story to make it canon.
Okay, fine. Yes, where he had to, the actor had to. Hang on, let me just get this right now. Alec Freeman had to pose as an actor called George Sewell.
There you go.
And Gabrielle Drake had to pose.
Yes.
No, Gay Ellis had to pose as an actor called Gabrielle Drake to go on This Is Your Life. Right, that's a very UFO plot. Anyway, fast forwarding to early 1987, it was now Gabrielle Drake's turn to receive the Big Red Book, and I know what you're thinking. Who turned up to talk about UFO?
Was it?
You guessed it.
No.
In a purple wig. No, not in a purple wig. But it was George Sewell.
Get away.
And sadly, he didn't even bother to wear his Alec Freeman costume, would you believe? But he did briefly discuss the Moonbase Girl costumes and mentioned one of his favourite pieces of fan mail the show ever received. It came from a Japanese fan who was curious about why female Moonbase operatives wore purple wigs and asked simply, "It's very beautiful, but why?" Good question.
Yeah, I suppose.
Thankfully, both episodes survive as off-air recordings and hopefully still exist somewhere in the BBC archives, but unfortunately we don't have copies of either. So if anyone has copies of either George Sewell or Gabrielle Drake's This Is Your Life episodes that they'd be willing to share, please drop us a line because we'd love to have a look.
Great. Wow, that's amazing.
It is nice, isn't it? A bit of a sort of UFO This Is Your Life crossover
It'd
episode.
be
Double
a bit
crossover.
like me turning up in my Precinct 88 shirt for Lou Hirsch's This Is Your Life, wouldn't it?
Oh, if only there could be a Lou Hirsch This Is Your Life, and then your This Is Your Life later on, where Lou wouldn't bother to come dressed as that.
He really wouldn't. He wouldn't bother to turn up anyway.
Yeah.
Let alone dressed as that.
Isn't that interesting that in this arrangement, you're the Gabrielle Drake and he's the George Sewell?
Well, I've always thought so.
Yes, I suppose if anyone had to be either of those, that would be the arrangement.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm glad that we've covered that. Podsterons, if you do have recordings of those episodes, we would love to see them. Drop us a line, podcast@gerryanderson.com. And if we do manage to get them, then we'll try and do some little clips, because that would be a nice thing to do, I think, wouldn't
That'd
it?
be lovely, yeah. I'd like to see that.
There you go.